fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, so you are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever current project you are working on and work alongside as I chat. I am going to be working on my sun project that I recently kitted up from Amazon. You can check out the video of the kitting up if you're interested. I have things ready to go. I have my little QB container here, one for my trash. I have all my other drills kitted up and ready to go. I'm going to be working on this section here, at least to start. I've got a couple of pins and I have my new Bella tray. So Jess was kind enough to let me know that when I said I wanted some light colored ones, that they had white ones still available. So I did go out and get a couple of those. Um, After using it for a little bit, I got to say I don't enjoy it as much as the other tray, and I'll explain why as I go. So let me zoom you guys in. I've got my timer and everything else, I think, ready to go, so that I shouldn't have to stop and get anything. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and get everything all adjusted. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I've got everything ready to go. I'm getting ready to start my timer. Got my pens, got my drills. I wanted to just talk a little bit about the tray. Love the tray. I wish they'd had the bigger ones actually. So instead of getting two small ones, I could have gotten a big one. Love the fact that it has a lid once I learned how to operate them. My issue with them is they used to have the little hole here with a little holder thing so that you could pour drills from there. They've now got this new stopper thing. And I do like that you can wiggle it out fairly easily. It is an odd shape, so you know exactly how it goes back in. There's no trying to figure out which one is up, which one is down. However, uh, I tend to not use the lids, and so what I have found is when I go to pour things back in, because I have to kind of tilt it up so far, things fall out, which, you know, I could use the lid and solve that problem, but it's just another step for me. So with stopper trays, I totally get wanting to kit up into trays, and I may do that at some point, but not yet. So I'm going to try it just leaving the stopper completely out and going from there and kind of using it like I use the other tray that I have, the older design, because I'm picky and, you know, I just want things to be the way that I want them. Isn't that how we all work? Or is that just me? So I do have a list of some things that I wanted to talk about. It has been kind of a crazy week, you guys. I just feel like I've kind of been on a roller coaster for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm struggling right now with that whole comparison is the thief of joy thing. I don't know if it's because, again, I think some of this for me is that school/work is winding down, and so I know that I'm not going back next year full time. Well, not full time. I'm only part time, but I'm not even going to be back part time. I'm just going to sub next year, if that. That's not even a for sure thing, and so, you know, just kind of knowing where I've been the last 5 years, I'm not going to be anymore. And, um, you know, it's just sad. I think I'm preparing to say goodbye, I guess. And so that's been a little weird. That and the fact I have a meeting coming up this week with the people who are going to be taking over my job. They've already taken over some parts of it, doing fantastically. So I know I'm leaving the place in good hands, but glue dot does not want to let go today. I'm leaving the place in good hands, but you know, just sad that kind of that part of my life is moving on. Sorry, my phone is going off. Anyway, so yeah, I have a meeting with them on Wednesday to kind of finalize the end of this year as well as get everything set up for next year. These pins are making me crazy. And so just knowing that, I'm kind of doing everything for the last time, bittersweet. So I am excited about the new things to come, but it's always a little scary to go from, having a job to no job. It's almost like when I wasn't working because I had stayed home with my kids while they were in school, and then trying to, get back into the workforce after that was a little scary. And so yeah, just kind of leaving the workforce at this point and kind of not really knowing where we're going. I mean, we have an idea of where we're going, but everything is not for sure yet. So just a little fear of the unknown. Um, so some of it is that. Some of it is I'm struggling with that old comparison is the thief of joy thing. I try very hard not to compare myself to other people, um, because my journey is my journey and their journey is their journey. And we're in different places. We want different things. We have different skill sets. So, comparing myself to other people is not apples to apples. But it's hard to remember that sometimes when you see other people kind of getting further along than you are on a path that you're on. So it's just, yeah, again, me trying to remember that this is my journey and I want to do it the way that I want to do it. I don't want to. I think that's my part of my struggle is that I see other people that are further along than me and I think, "Oh, well, I should be doing what they're doing." And it's hard to remember to rein that back in because I don't know if I want to be doing what they're doing. Maybe what they did to get where they are, even though we're currently on the same path, doesn't mean that our destinations are the same. You know, um, People's reasons for doing things are all over the board, and my reason for doing something may be completely different than their reason for doing something. And so, if I follow what they're doing, then am I sure that's going to get me where I want to go? So, yeah, just a struggle with that to kind of see, you know, some things for me feel like they're up in the air. And so I'm struggling with, I think, feeling like I need to control other things to make up for the lack of control I feel elsewhere. So, yeah, just trying to keep my head on straight and, you know, remember where I want to go and figure out what I need to do to get there. So, and then it was kind of an up and down week because at the beginning of the week, the beginning of last week, or maybe the middle of last week, I don't remember. Oops, forgot I didn't have the stopper in there. Um, we had gotten to the point where we had all of our paperwork filled out for our move to Canada, and we're feeling pretty good about where we were in the process. And then some things kind of came up that I felt kind of threw a wrench in the whole thing. And we ended up just being able to do a little bit more research and figure out, it's all good. It's, what I was worried about is not a concern. Um, we do have some things that we're going to need to, kind of be aware of. But yeah, so all of our paperwork is filled out. There are a few things I still need to do. Um, Sometimes when you're filling out all this government paperwork, I'm sure they try to make it as clear as possible so that, you know, people can understand it. But sometimes, and sometimes it's just me overthinking things. Like, you're supposed to put all of the paperwork in a certain order, but I don't feel like their directions are very clear. And I don't know if it's just me overthinking the directions or if they truly aren't very clear. So I'm going to have my husband read through them and see what he thinks. We have a group of people who he belongs to, a group that are basically a bunch of people who are trying to do the same thing that we are or have already done it. And so we have like a resource to ask questions. So we're going to do that as well, just to make sure that we have all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted and all of that. And get the process started. So we have to pay our fees. So we're hoping to do that this weekend, actually. And then once we get our couple of questions answered, we should be ready to mail everything in and start that clock ticking. So once we turn it in, we have no idea how long it will take for everything to go through. I know at some point my son and I will have to go in for like some kind of medical exam. And we know that they say it can take anywhere from 6 months to a year for everything to get processed and approved. So once we turn it in, it will be a while before we hear anything. But we've also heard of cases where, someone applied thinking that it would be 6 months to a year, and 2 months later they had their approval in hand. And they were scrambling to figure out what to do because they were not prepared to move until that year and a half had elapsed, and so they were having to kind of scramble and figure out things. For us, it's a little bit easier in that we have relatives in Canada in a couple of different places that we could stay with if we wanted to. So we don't have to be worried about finding some place to live up there. But that isn't the only concern as well either. There's a lot of factors that are, to consider. We have to sell our house. And so what we've decided to do in the short term is we're going to apply, and then we are going to, once we get our approval, we're going to move to Maine. We don't have to, there's a time limit for how soon we have to claim the permanent residency once it's granted, but they do give us time to, figure out the logistics of everything. And the rule is that we have to spend, I think, 700 and some days a year. No, 700 and some days out of 5 years in Canada, which, if we live in Maine, is more than doable. What we're hoping for is that my husband can basically do storm work, which means that he can just travel for work for a couple of months, and then he can be off for a couple of months. And the storm income will support us during the months that he's off. And then we can spend those couple of months in Canada. And that gives us time to figure out the logistics of, how does that affect me as a YouTuber and the income that I make? How does that affect my son as a student? And, what do we do from there? And taxes are a big thing because as my husband is a dual citizen and my son and I will be permanent residents of Canada, but still citizens of the US, we will have to file taxes in both places. And so living in Maine, there's a lot of people, probably, anywhere in the US that's close to the Canadian border, there's people who, commute back and forth daily for work, whether it's US people who work in Canada or Canadians who work in the US. And there'll just be more people to pick from who have experience filing in both places, not something that we're going to find here in the middle of the states where we currently live. I mean, people around here act like Canada is, you know, I might as well be moving to Australia as far as some of them are concerned. They have no idea, you know, the actual distance, what all it entails, how different it is, and all that kind of stuff, um, which is kind of funny. But I've also come to realize that a lot of people here in the US don't have any idea how our own immigration system works. I can't tell you the number of people that I've met, both when my husband was immigrating and since, um, that think you just move here and start working. And I mean, you can, but that's illegal. And so, moving here and getting a work visa and getting your green card and all of that kind of stuff, while not difficult, is certainly can be time consuming and cost quite a bit more. My husband and I are always laughing because, we're going to spend a fraction of what we spent for him to get permanent residency here in the US and citizenship in the US for the same thing. For my son and I, doing both of those things is going to be about half of what it was here in the US, and that's for two people. So a quarter of the cost. I mean, it's just crazy to me sometimes how much more expensive things are here than there in that respect. Um, so that's one of the reasons we want to definitely have somebody help us with the tax issues, because we were reading somewhere that, filing as basically dual residents. My son and I won't be Canadian citizens, we'll be residents, but we'll still have to file in both places. And, trying to figure out the logistics of all of that, because there are so many rules, especially, when you're talking about um, pensions and retirement funds, because the rules in the US are different than the rules in Canada. And yeah, it just, and, we all know nobody wants to run afoul of the IRS here in the States. So, finding somebody that will be able to help us navigate that is definitely something we want to do. And it actually will be less money than I thought it would be. So, I mean, it's not going to be cheap, but it's still a little bit less expensive than I thought it was going to be. So we're hoping that we have time to, work out the logistics. Like I said, sell our house here. The plan is to move to Maine and buy someplace quite a bit smaller there. I do not want to be house poor in any way, shape, or form. And we don't need as much room as we currently have. And it just, you end up paying a lot more in other ways as well. We pay a lot in property taxes on our property, or the county where we live. The property taxes are pretty hefty. Um, and after doing a bit of research, it looks like, pretty much all the taxes we pay, whether it's property tax, sales tax, food tax, all that kind of stuff, is going to be less in Maine than it is here. Our state is not is one of the ones that has some of the highest tax rates for a state like ours. I mean, obviously places like California and some of those other places are going to have much larger taxes, but we're basically going from, near the top 10 out of 50 states to somewhere in the middle. So, it's probably not going to save us a ton of money, but it should hopefully save us some money. So, smaller house to live in up there while we get the rest of the logistics worked out. Will be close enough that we can, spend some of our time in Canada. We've been advised to keep a, what do they call it, a travel journal, so that we can keep track and have some sort of documentation of the number of days that we're in Canada, so that we make sure we are meeting the requirements for the permanent residency. And yeah, it just, as far as, what I was worried about. It seems like a lot of the things that I thought were going to be issues aren't going to be at all. So, yeah, I'm afraid what's going to happen is we're going to, expect that it's going to take a year to get all of everything done and approved, and it's going to come through in a couple of months. Gosh, I can't talk today. Now, if it does, I'm not going to complain. That would be amazing and wonderful, but it would be okay with us if it took a little bit of time so that, while it's being processed, we can be taking those steps that we need to take and, kind of getting everything on track. And we're lucky. I've read some stories about people who are basically doing the same thing, and they have very small children, and so trying to work out the logistics around, school and all of that. I mean, we have logistics to work out because my son is still in college, but that's different than trying to work out the logistics of somebody who's still, in middle school or high school or whatever. So, and I'm hoping that that year gives us some time. I think if it takes that year to finish, my son can actually finish his degree and be done a little bit early. He took, both my kids took college classes while they were in high school. So they both had credits going into high school so that they could um, be done a little bit faster. And also, it saved us money. So I think my daughter ended up taking more dual credit classes than my son did, but he had, I think, at least a semester's worth of credits before he even got to college. So, yeah, hoping that that will make things go a little bit differently. I would love to be able to talk him into taking some summer classes so he can finish that much faster. Don't know if I'm going to manage that, but I'm going to try. I have a feeling he will resist that. And not that I blame him. When I went back to get my teaching license, the program that I was in, I had basically for 2 years, I took classes at night while I was working full time as a teacher. And then I had to take both summers that I was in the program. I had to take classes over the summer, and it is not fun. So, if he doesn't want to, then that will be okay. But I'm going to try and convince him that it would be to his benefit to try and get done a little bit earlier, sooner rather than later. It would just make a lot of other logistical things for our move up there easier as well. Not to mention, it would get me done paying tuition, and that would be amazing because I would love to stop paying that. So that is something I'm grateful for, though. We have been able to pay for our kids' college without having to take out any student loans for them or for us. And so that's been amazing. I keep telling my daughter she doesn't understand how lucky she is not to have student debt as she ventures off out on her own. So she's still searching for another job, so we'll see how things go with her. But anyway, so that's an update on where we are as far as all that kind of stuff goes. Health update. We went and saw the surgeon. Wait, what letter am I doing? I forgot already. My husband went and saw the surgeon for his arm. She does not want to do surgery. Nothing is actually torn all the way through. So they're hoping that time and physical therapy will let it heal up on its own. He is on light duty at work. I may have already told you guys this. Anyway, he's on light duty at work. He is feeling better already. So hopefully that trend continues. I have been doing some of the things that his surgeon recommended for me. Not that the surgeon recommended for me, she recommended them for him, but I've been following those recommendations because of my knee. My knee is almost feeling somewhat normal. It feels weak, but it does not feel weak because it's painful. It just feels weak because I feel like I haven't used it. And, big surprise after kind of limping around on it, both my knee and my hip, I have some issues with. I have started going for walks with my son again, so I'm happy about that. It is at least, we're not walking as long as we were, but I am at least able to do that again. So that part of it is nice. And then, um, yeah, I'm just going to be doing some other things that I think will get me back to where I want to be. So I'm happy to be making progress on that front. So in that respect, everything is going well. Other than that, everyone is pretty healthy and happy. So my daughter already got rid of her cat. I went to go take her out to lunch the other day because we both had the day off work. And we were, I said, we'd go back to your apartment, but you have a cat. And she's like, no, I don't. And I was like, why don't you have it? Well, because it was somebody else's pet first. They had decided to get rid of it, but then I think the cat did not want to leave. My daughter said it was very unhappy, throwing itself at doors and things when she would leave, and just kind of in general moping. And the person that she got it from was kind of having second thoughts about having given it up anyway. So the cat's going back to live with its original owner. So it's not like it went to the pound or anything, but I know she was looking forward to having a pet. So now she's trying to figure out what she wants to do. And, I'm trying to caution her that again, you know, having a pet just makes it that much harder when you're trying to find an apartment because, of course, lots of landlords don't want you to have a pet. And she would really rather have a dog. But even at her current place, there's a weight limit and it just doesn't leave you a whole lot of wiggle room to get anything but a very small dog. And of course, she wants to just get one from the pound, and that makes it even worse because small dogs and puppies don't last long at the pound. And so, yeah, I'm not sure what she's going to do. Hopefully, she will wait. She's looking for another job. She wants to do something different, I think. And so I'm hoping she'll wait until she gets another job. And then I think she wants to move to a different apartment once her lease is up. And then, you know, once she's a little bit more settled than she is currently, she can figure out what she wants to do as far as pets and things. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of waiting to see if once we actually make the move to Maine, if she follows us. She could find a job there doing what she's doing here easily enough, and I think she'd make more money at it because there just aren't as many people in Maine. So much of it is kind of uninhabited forest, So we'll see what happens. She was very adamant that she did not want to go with us because she wants to go someplace warmer. And she doesn't like the cold, the snow. She doesn't like driving in bad weather. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, so that's my kind of life update. You guys, this is Whip and Chat, I think 47. So not too much longer. This glue dot's making me crazy. Not too much longer, and I will have done a whole year of Whip and Chats, which seems crazy to me. When I started doing them, I wasn't even sure I would make it for, a month, much less a year. Because I thought, oh, I'm not going to have enough stuff to talk about. Nobody's going to want to listen to me just kind of blather on for, hours at a time while they're diamond painting or whatever. So those of you who listen and comment, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. And yeah, it's actually been amazing. Sometimes I feel like it's almost therapeutic that, I can kind of sit here and talk. And that for me has always been one of the ways that I work through things. I have to talk it over with someone. And even if nobody's, answering back, it's just that, you get that chance to kind of talk through what's running around in your head. Um, and I find that helpful. Other people need to go out for a run and clear their head, not me. I have to talk it out. So thank you to everybody who has, um, listened to the WIP in chats, made comments, offered advice, concern, condolences, help, whatever the case may be. It's all appreciated. Um, so I guess that kind of leads me into a segue for my next item, which is that I want to say thank you. I have hit 2,000 subscribers plus. So again, a huge thank you to everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button or the like button. Any and all of that helps me out. And I am, as a thank you, going to finally have the giveaway that I kept talking about. So, you guys, it is going to be for US and international. You can find all the specific details below, so check it out in case you miss anything as I'm talking. I'm going to have two prizes as usual, one for international, one for US people. So for you international folks, those of you who have been waiting, I am going to do a giveaway of the one of the Harbor Freight set of containers. It's the set of 24. So it says 25 piece on it. You get the big container and then the 24 individual containers inside of it. So if you are interested in trying out a Harbor Freight because you cannot get it in your neck of the woods, please leave a comment below and tell me your favorite multi-placing tip. What's your favorite? Is it the 2? Is it the 3? Is it the 4, 6, 7, 9, 5, 10, 15, however, whatever size it is? Which one is your favorite? Leave that. And then, of course, leave whether you are international or whether you are in the US. So for you international folks, as I said, the set of Harbor Freight containers is going to be that prize. For those of you in the US, because you have access to Harbor Freight, I'm not going to give away a second Harbor Freight container. You guys can pick them up. They are around $7 in my neck of the woods, so they're not expensive. So what I'm going to do for you guys is a secret. So I'm not going to tell you what the exact prize is, but it will be, see, and now I'm sitting here thinking, do I have to tell you according to the rules what the prize is? I don't think I have to tell you. Just know that it will be something diamond painting related. And I'm going to leave it at that. Because quite frankly, I don't have it gathered yet. And, we'll see. Things change by the time that I, get around sometimes to finishing up the contest and mailing everything out or finishing up the giveaway. So yeah, it's a surprise. It's a diamond painting surprise. That's what I'll call it. So same rules. If you are US, leave me a comment with the fact that you are in the US and then tell me what your favorite multiplacer is. Mine is a 4, just FYI. I like the 3, but the 4 is better. So I've tried the 6 and up. if I get a little more practice with the 6, I might be better enough with it that I feel comfortable, but anything larger than that, and I just feel like my lines get crazy with my drill placement. So I was thinking the other day I should do like a just find a get like a, just a throwaway diamond painting that I have by for the purpose express of I don't care what this is going to look like when I get done. I'm just going to use it as something to practice my multi-placing. So like find something, pretty inexpensive with a lot of color blocking and then just practice. So I have a blank canvas floating around here somewhere that's like a 30 by 40. I guess I could just whip that out and just randomly place drills for practice. Maybe I'll think about doing that sometime. We'll see. It'll be kind of interesting to see, not trying to make a photo or a picture or anything, but just doing it to practice multi-placing. Use up some of my spare drills that way. But then it would just be kind of a throwaway thing, and I have to think about it. Don't know if I want to do that. I was kind of saving that blank canvas for, an actual project that I might do at some point. So we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, there's the giveaway. If you're in the US, it's a surprise diamond painting giveaway. If you are in the international arena, it is one of the set of Harbor Freight containers. So yeah, make sure you follow all the details. It is going to be open as soon as this video posts, and it will close at 6 a.m. the next day. And then I will, as usual, draw the winners, probably with my little spinning wheel app, on Tuesday. And then the winners will need to contact me and make arrangements for me to get addresses and things so that I can send everything out. So yeah, just, guys, really, I do want to say thank you so much. I do appreciate everybody who watches and likes and subscribes and, shares my channel with anyone. That is always appreciated. So yeah, so there you go. That's the information about the giveaway. And what else do I want to talk about? I don't think I had anything else specifically on my list. These pens are making me crazy. I pulled them because I was using them on another project and they were doing okay. So I don't know why they're giving me so many problems today. I have been working on my Dreamer designs again, and I have to say, I don't know why I was avoiding it. I don't know if I had some kind of mental block. I did switch out pens, and that did help. But I also think it's kind of one of the larger paintings that I've done. I mean, I've been doing big paintings. Alice was pretty big. The pencil was pretty big. But this one is bigger than both of them. And so I don't know if that had something to do with it. I don't know if I was just concentrating on, other things. And so I kind of felt about that one. Now that I've been working on it, I got to say, I'm really happy with it. And I noticed yesterday when I was working on one of the sections I was working on that I don't know if I just got lucky or if their drills are usually that good, but they have some of the best black drills. I mean, there's not a huge amount of black in the picture, but there are several areas like windows and things where there's like quite a bit of black for shading and in some of the trees and things. And just, black is just one of those usually kind of trashy colors where, even when they're Diamond Art Club or whatever. I mean, I've had a couple of Diamond Art Clubs where I felt like all of my blacks were just kind of trashy. And the blacks in this one have been so good. Like, I feel like I haven't thrown away hardly any of the blacks at all. And so that's been really nice. And the drills are really nice. I'm doing a round kit, so they're not square. So I don't know if that had something to do with why I was avoiding it, because but Alice was a round. The Pinson was a square, but Alice was a round. So I don't know. I don't know what mental block I had on it, but it's gone. I'm working on it, and now I've got, oh, you know what? Another thing might have been because I was doing the sectioning with the washi tape, and that is just not my preferred method. It does make for good pictures, and I will, it's good for that. But for me, I think for me, if I'm going to leave the cover sheet on to kind of get some of the good photos that I want without covering up with release paper, I think what I need to do is just, instead of washi taping the cover sheet to section it up, just cut the sections and quit trying to, just pull up the cover sheet, cut it with scissors. If it gets a little wonky, that's okay with me. And just go from there instead of trying to do it with washi tape. One, because I feel like I'm kind of wasting the washi tape. I mean, I'm just then cutting it up. So what was the point? I could section it off differently and it would be way easier and less waste. And two, again, like I said, I'm constantly worried that I'm going to press too hard and I'm going to end up cutting all the way through the canvas, which would make me cry after the amount of hours that I've put into some of these. So maybe that's what I'll do from now on, is I'll just pull it up and cut it with scissors and do it that way. And then I won't feel like I'm having a mini heart attack every time I go to cut it with the little ceramic cutter that I'm somehow going to accidentally cut through. It's crazy. But when you spend 80 plus hours on something, to have something as simple as, oh, I pressed too hard, mess it up. Yeah. I need to do it on something a little less high stakes, I think, and get my practice in with it. So, and you guys, I don't even know if I'm going to get anywhere close to my budget this year. I have been trying to figure out, I want to do a couple of equipment upgrades. So I ordered some new pieces of filming equipment yesterday. Don't know if they're going to work the way I want, but I ordered them from Amazon. So if I don't like them or they don't work, I can always send them back. So there's that. And then I am now the proud owner of 4 Elizabeth Ward trays. My ones that I ordered from Target came, so I have those. And then Jess very kindly showed me a cabinet that you can get that basically acts like little drawers for your Elizabeth Ward trays. So you have like a little cabinet to keep them in. And I want it. So I've bookmarked that. Don't know when I'm going to get it. We're supposed to be getting raises and maybe a bonus at work. So I'm kind of waiting to see if that happens, because if it does, some of that money may go there to get that little cabinet. But currently in my craft room / office, what I'm using that takes up most of the space in my closet is an old bookshelf where I have a lot of items stored. I mean, I have like a little paper sorter because I use all different kinds of paper. I have cardstock and photo paper and my regular printer paper and, sheet protectors and some other things. Of course, I have mailing labels and that kind of stuff. I have, all kinds of storage for my diamond painting, and I have books and a couple of like office style plastic drawer things that keep, like tape and staples and kind of office supplies all gathered together, because I don't have room for all of them on my desk. And it's literally an old bookshelf that we have repurposed, and it just doesn't work. I need a way to, it's missing a shelf anyway. And so things just kind of get stacked one on top of the other, and that's not great. I need something that's more like, you know, one of those IKEA storage places that has all the little cubbies and all the little things. And so I may just end up getting like a little cube kind of thing, or maybe some kind of cabinet or armoire that will fit in there. And then I can kind of rearrange things to be a little bit more to my liking, and hopefully be able to get more things in there. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, maybe that would give me some more room to move things around as well, so that I could either buy enough trays that I can kit up into trays, or I could get one of those towers so that I can, I have a place to put all of the trays when I kit them up. So, okay, I think I'm going to call that good there, guys. Didn't quite finish this whole section, but I have a feeling that was probably more because I was busy talking instead of diamond painting, but we'll see. So let me zoom you out here so you can see kind of what I got finished. Not too many colors. There's a lot of colors in this section as well. So definitely when you are working on something with this many colors and more, I can see the time benefit of kitting up into trays. Also, kitting up into trays would solve my issue with having to pull the stopper in and out because it would just stay in the tray. So I did like these. It worked much better to just leave the stopper out. So I think I'll be okay with the new design. I just need to get used to it. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around for the WIP and chat. Don't forget to check out the box down below for all of the details for the giveaway, and I will cross my fingers that you know, you're the lucky winner. So again, don't forget to follow the details, because if you don't leave all of the required information, that will mean that you get disqualified from the giveaway, and I don't want that for you. So there we go, guys. That's it. That's where I got on this kit. I'm going to call it good and leave you here. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.